Hey guys, welcome back to Maniva Invests. In today's video, we'll be looking at Vitalik's comments on Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey, what Vitalik believes will be the next big crypto project, and some very important information regarding Ethereum's price in the near future that you definitely don't want to miss out on. So, let's get into it. Vitalik recently did an interview with Bloomberg, and he had a lot to say. Not only about Ethereum, but also about Facebook and Square's new crypto projects. Let's just say that Vitalik does not seem to be their biggest fan. This is what Vitalik had to say when asked about Mark Zuckerberg's venture into crypto.
Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg is also making some big moves behind the metaverse. And what do you make of them wading into this decentralized world? Could they replicate some of the same problems that we see in Facebook and Twitter today?
I think Mark is clearly trying to figure out what the next stage after the internet is and actually get into it and create it. But before the rest of the world goes in some different direction, and Facebook is sort of left in the dust and becomes one of these kind of previous generation old world companies. So we've seen Facebook try to get into the crypto space with Libra, though. I think in the end, Libra did end up being possibly the wrong approach, because the problem that someone like Facebook has, right, is that a lot of people mistrust them. And so building their own platform, I know they tried really hard to create something that's a consortium with all these different industry participants, but at the same, even that was not enough, right? And there's just a huge amount of mistrust of them. But
after this, I don't think Vitalik is getting invited to any yacht parties anytime soon. He basically called Zuckerberg old and said that this venture into crypto is his attempt at keeping Facebook relevant. If you guys aren't familiar with Project Libra, let me get you guys up to speed. So basically, back in 2019, Mark Zuckerberg tweeted that Facebook is coming together with 27 organizations around the world to start the non-profit Libra Association and create a new currency called Libra. Libra's mission is to create a simple global financial infrastructure that empowers billions of people around the world. It is powered by blockchain technology, and the plan is to launch it in 2020. Cutting out all the bullshit, Libra was simply going to be a decentralized currency that would allow people in third world countries to make payments easily without having to rely on crappy financial institutions. Despite it being advertised as a non-profit, it was never going to be a non-profit. This was going to make Facebook billions of dollars. So let me scroll down here. These were supposed to be all the companies that were going to accept Libra as a payment option. As you can see, there were some big names here, like Visa, MasterCard, Uber, eBay, etc. Unfortunately for Facebook, despite having all this support, Libra was a flop. Not surprisingly, Facebook's plans to launch a blockchain-based payment system have caused strong resentment among governments, banks, and financial regulators. Not least is the scandalous reputation of a company that is too loosely managing its customers' databases for marketing purposes. Basically, nobody, including the government, trusted Facebook with such power, because of which, one by one, all the parenting companies abandoned the project. Jack Dorsey, founder of Twitter, when asked about joining Libra, replied with "hell no." Speaking of Jack Dorsey, Vitalik is not too keen on Jack Dorsey's venture into crypto either. This is what Vitalik had to say when asked about Jack Dorsey's recent crypto that will be a direct competitor of Ethereum.
One of them is Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey recently announced Square is creating a new business focused on decentralized financial services based on Bitcoin, using Bitcoin. What have you learned about Jack Dorsey's plans Does it seem like he's building something that sounds a lot like Ethereum?
I'm skeptical about these decentralized finance on top of Bitcoin type of projects. Basically, because like the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? This is that on Ethereum, there's like native functionality that allows you to essentially directly put either ETH or Ethereum based assets into these smart contracts, into these lockboxes, where there's then like arbitrary conditions of any kind that can then govern how those assets get released. Bitcoin does not have that functionality to the same extent. Like Jack is basically going to have to essentially create his own system that enforces those rules. And then on the Bitcoin layer, the Bitcoins will just have to be owned by probably a multi-sig wallet controlled by like either Jack or the participants in the system. It looks similar, but it'll end up being something with a much weaker trust model. Right. Like, I really think that like this is the whole reason why Ethereum started as an independent system in the first place. Right. Like there's technical limits to your ability to kind of graft new functionality onto a system that's not powerful enough to support that new functionality.
Yeah, Vitalik does not seem too impressed. The main concern he has with Jack Dorsey's project is that since it will be based on Bitcoin and not Ethereum, the project won't have pre-embedded functionalities to be able to govern its assets. To solve this issue, Jack Dorsey's project would have to create a new set of rules and ways to govern it, which in turn will never be as secure as Ethereum. For Ethereum holders, however, these responses are great. You see that Vitalik is extremely confident in what the Ethereum Foundation has been able to build, and is not scared at all by these much more influential tech moguls. Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey have much more financial and intellectual resources, yet Vitalik does not even see them as a threat. Vitalik did not just stop there. He did not forget to take shots at his longtime rival, Warren Buffett, either, who infamously said that all cryptos were Ponzi schemes and would go to zero. Here's what Vitalik had to say when asked about that.
So the crypto skeptics, many people that are admired in the financial world, Jamie Dimon, Warren Buffett, are they just wrong?
A lot of them have definitely been just wrong already, right? They expected even back in 2013 to 15, at least some of them, to see blockchains and cryptocurrency fail and go down to zero in price and just not get any more interest completely. And even today, they've already been far more successful than any of them expected. So I can see how people in traditional finance, or at least some of them, can be inclined to kind of not see the value of blockchain-based finance immediately. There's a lot of people, even in traditional banks, that see the value that blockchains provide and have been trying to come up with things and work with them.
Besides taking shots at billionaires, Vitalik also dropped a gem in this video when he talked about what he sees will be the next big thing in crypto. Pay close attention to this.
Right now, it is mostly finance apps that are built on Ethereum, aside from NFTs. And I'm wondering, what is the killer app for Ethereum that could lead to widespread adoption, much like email was for the internet?
I think there's a few candidates. DeFi is obviously one of them. I think the blockchain-based financial things have always been attractive because the traditional financial system just sucks more than traditional centralized tech, right? Like, if I send an email to, someone in Guatemala, then they're going to receive it in 1 second. With finance, you can't even say that. A lot of people and companies, even today, just to use cryptocurrency to send money internationally. Outside of finance, think one interesting area where I think blockchains might go. You notice that in order to access your assets in Ethereum, you need to have an account. We're getting to the point where there's a lot of work that's been done on making these accounts very secure. And so instead of just being accounts that hold money, like these turn into like fully blown profiles, right? And once you have profiles, then you can start doing decentralized social media on top of that. The social and financial things that you can do with that, even working together, is something that I think could be really big.
Decentralized social media, that's the gem. Moving on, the crypto community has grown a lot this past year. Today, more than 21.2 million adults, or about 14% of the US population, own cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin or Ethereum. Gemini's research revealed that about 13% of those polled shared intentions to purchase digital assets within the next 12 months. With a community this big growing at a rapid pace, there is a huge market for decentralized social media applications, and Vitalik believes that they will be the next big thing in crypto. Right now, there are a lot of projects developing such applications. One of the crypto projects that is doing so is Internet Computer. The Internet Computer Network helps developers create websites, enterprise IT systems, internet services, and DeFi applications. If you take a look at their ecosystem, they have already released beta versions of such products. For example, you have OpenChat, which is a decentralized messaging service. They have DSCVR, which is a decentralized version of Reddit. Internet Computer has been featured a lot on this channel, so if you would like to learn about it from the ground up, I would highly recommend you guys check out my videos on it. I will have the links to them in the description below. The last clip I would like to share with you all from this Bloomberg interview is of him talking about the future of cryptocurrencies and where he sees them in the upcoming years. Check this out.
What's your prediction for Bitcoin? Does it replace the dollar? Does it exist in 50 years, or is it something else? And then similarly, what's your prediction for Ethereum? Because a lot of investors are choosing to hold both, or one or the other.
Yeah, I think replacing the dollar completely is unlikely, just because there's things that the dollar provides, like price stability, for example, that Bitcoin is not going to provide. I think even in a theoretical world where the US dollar collapses, even then, I think Bitcoin is not going to be able to provide the level of stability that users and businesses expect to be able to set prices in. And in that kind of world, we would need something else. It could be decentralized stable coins, it could be something else, but we'll see. But at the same time, I think cryptocurrency can still have a very powerful and important role alongside existing currencies.
Leave a comment down below. Do you guys agree with Vitalik's predictions or not? Last but not least, I want to share with you all what can happen to Ethereum's price in the very near future. You should all be aware of this. Behavior analytics platform Sentiment pointed out that while prices were going up, volume was declining. This divergence is generally not a good sign and tends to lead to a correction. If you look at this graph, the green line is an indicator for the prices of Ethereum, and the gray section is the volume of Ethereum. Recently, as you can see, the price has been increasing while the trading volume has been decreasing. This usually indicates that a correction is incoming, so you should all be cautious in the near future. So how much can the price of Ethereum fall down if a correction does happen? The first support level will be around $3,000 because more than 300,000 addresses had previously purchased 7.44 million ETH between $3,010 and $3,100. If people start panic selling, then the next significant support level will be around $2,500. And that wraps it up for today's video. If this video was helpful, smash that like button, subscribe, and press the bell icon. This will be greatly appreciated as it will help our small community to grow. Until next time, take care and keep investing.